Douglas Island, Bickford. It is the 27th of July, 2022 at 8:45 a.m. here, Pacific Standard Time in Klamath Falls, Oregon, my hometown. Broadcasting live out of my 105-year-old house here. Klamath Falls, Oregon is the gateway to Crater Lake National Park, one of the 7 wonders of the world. You got to check it out. I am a self-taught psychiatrist, therapist, and counselor. I have logged thousands of hours of how the mind works, okay? The science of the mind, in the last 2 years of my life. I am on Facebook and YouTube for absolutely one reason, and that's to help you obtain a healthy mind and keep it, okay? In emotional, sexual, and physical abuse. And the reason that is because I am a victim of it, okay? I've obtained a healthy mind because all my study of the brain in the last 2 years, and I fixed myself. And there are billions of people on the planet that are in the same boat as me that were either emotionally, sexually, or physically abused. Most have been emotionally abused. I'm talking about billions of people, you out there. Too many of us have been sexually or physically abused. So we're talking billions of people all over the planet. Nobody is doing what I'm doing on Facebook. Okay, that's why I'm offering you my services, because, like I said, I am a victim of it, and I've learned how to heal myself. And you can have the same healing. So, in order to be positive about how, what, and where you are, and your world around you and others, right, you have to obtain and maintain a thing called self-esteem. It comes out of this book right here. It's called The Portable Therapist. What self-esteem is, it's how you feel about yourself. It is also known as self-confidence, self-worth, self-love. Here's what you can, most people don't know what the two words mean. So here's what it is, okay? We've all been in romantic relationships. That good feeling when you first meet that other person, okay? You're on cloud 9, they're on cloud 9. You're bragging to all your family and friends about how great these people are. They're doing the same thing about you. They can do no wrong. You're soulmates. God got you together on purpose. You're telling people all this stuff, right? You're all proud to hang out with them. And anyway, what self-esteem is that good feeling towards yourself. Dr. Susanna McMahon, a psychiatrist, a counselor, a therapist for many years out of her life, is 73, lives in Madrid, Texas, with her husband. She wrote this book called The Portable Therapist in the 90s. It was published in 1992. Every lesson in it talks about how we've been trained and taught not to have self-esteem, self-love, self-confidence, self-worth. Being a psychiatrist, she knew that nobody was teaching it back then, okay, in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And she also knows that the only way to obtain a healthy mind is to have self-esteem. You can't have a healthy mind without self-esteem. So she's had thousands of clients. They would pay her big bucks, okay, to fix their unhealthy minds or help themselves fix their unhealthy minds. So she knew she had to come up with a concept to get her clients to give themselves self-esteem. Nobody can give you self-esteem except for you. And here's that very simple concept. It's called mirror therapy. And this is what I'm teaching now. And that's why I'm a self-taught, self-trained therapist and psychiatrist, okay, and counselor. And I can help you, okay. But here's that very simple concept. You have to say 4 things to yourself in the mirror every day without fail for the rest of your life. I love you. I love my inner child. I'm worthy to be loved. I'm worthy to love. I am full of goodness. Those 4 things will instantaneously give you self-esteem, I kid you not. But to maintain it, you have to practice it. It's like lifting weights. If you start lifting weights and you stop, you have to start over from scratch. So, self-esteem is the exact same thing for the brain. It'll instantaneously give you self-esteem, but you have to say it literally for the rest of your life. Every day you have to practice it, and that way you'll maintain it. Okay. The reason she came up with mirror therapy is because we cannot lie to ourselves in the mirror. It's a psychological event that happens in your brain. You can't look dead straight in your face and say something that you don't believe. Okay, so that's why you can, when you get in front of the mirror every day, we're all in front of the mirror every day anyway, you can very easily either think or say bad things about yourself. That's because that's how you feel about yourself. You can't say good things to yourself in the mirror because, number one, you can't lie to yourself in the mirror. And you don't feel good about yourself because of all our training, okay? We've been taught to feel bad about ourselves. So you can't say that to yourself, good things, in the mirror because you can't lie to yourself in the mirror, okay? So the very first time that you say those 4 things to yourself in the mirror, and they are very good things to say to yourself, folks, you'll have to force yourself to do it. It'll feel very strange and awkward, but do it beyond that feeling and keep doing it literally for the rest of your life. The more you say it, the more you feel it, and the more you believe it. Okay, then you'll understand what I'm talking about. Anyway, so the reason having and attaining and maintaining self-esteem is so vital to the human being is because the first reason is we can't be content without it. What content means is you feel good about how, where, and what you are. It's also known as internal peace. There are 11 things that people are using to try to be content. They are the social media, all of it. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, drugs, alcohol, sex, gambling, food, television, religion, another person, material possessions, or money. Those 11 things are known as external. Those are outside of yourself. They will only make you feel content, have internal peace temporarily. Think about the drug high, right? Always goes away. You have to do more drugs to get the same feel good. Alcohol, exact same thing. You have to do more alcohol to get the same feel good, right? And the other 9 things are exactly the same thing, okay? It's always a temporary fix. It's never permanent. The absolute only thing that's going to make you permanently content and give you self-esteem on steroids is the 4 things to yourself in the mirror. Then you won't have to use the 11 things anymore because you'll have internal peace. That's the absolute only way you're going to get it, okay? Internal peace and feel content permanently. Trust me, it works. It worked on me. And it gives you self-confidence too, and that's why I'm very self-confidently spreading this message. The other reason that self-esteem is so vital to the human being, to have it, attain it, and maintain it, is because we cannot love without it. We cannot be loved. So what happens is 2 people that don't have it will attract each other. Whether you marry them, you don't marry them. You get together, right? After that good feeling goes away, when you move in and have children and all the everyday life stuff starts happening, then that's when the fights and the arguments start. The cheating on each other, the lying to each other, the drug and alcohol use, going to the bars, picking up strange people to have sex with, flirting with your significant other just right in front of each other. You know, getting in the car, going down the road, can't wait to get away from them. You know, therapy sessions that don't work, the apologies, the crying, and all that, and nothing ever fixes it. And so ultimately what happens is the two people that got together without self-esteem end up split up or divorced, right? Then the same thing, the same two people will go jump in another relationship, and the exact same thing will happen because you got in another one without self-esteem, because you can't love or be loved or be content without self-esteem. So then that one will fail too, just like the first one. They call it relationship jumping. That's why I've been married 4 times and divorced 4 times. That's why I've had many failed relationships. That's why you've been married more than once. And why you've had many failed relationships. The next thing that'll happen, that you got together with no self-esteem, they'll stay in that relationship forever, even though they know it's bad, okay? It's a toxic relationship. And the reason they stay in it is because they're being codependent on each other. They can't be alone. They're afraid to leave. They have nowhere to go. They don't want to be an embarrassment to all their family and friends, so they stick it out forever. And then at that point, all the emotional, sexual, and physical abuse that happened between those two and the children gets swept under the rug and pretend like it never happened, right? Never talked about it, none of that by all the family members. And at that point, it becomes a dysfunctional family. And that dysfunctional families produce more dysfunctional families down the line. The very last thing that'll happen is the two that got together with no self-esteem is they'll just say, screw it, exit out of the romantic scene and just be alone the rest of their lives. But they will be just as miserable alone as they were in the relationship, because we can't be content without self-esteem, okay? So, my style of therapy, there's a cure for all of those scenarios. If all parties involved said 4 things to themselves in the mirror daily without fail, and get this book and go through the many concepts together, it will fix your toxic relationship. It will fix the person that's all alone out there. You will be able to be content alone and not have to use the 11 things to make yourself feel good anymore, because you'll have internal peace from inside. Then you can also continue to watch me, and you can also call me for your therapy session free of charge from self-taught psychiatrist, counselor, therapist Douglas Allen Bickford at 458-232-5238. I will help you. I mean, I can help you. And I specialize in emotional, sexual, and physical abuse. And that's because it happened to me as a child. And there's billions of you that has happened to too. And the only thing you'll have to do with me is you'll have to pay for this book, $16, to come to your front door off Amazon, and 1-hour therapy sessions 4 times a month. And you'll have to get very honest, okay, with me and with yourself, because the first thing that you're going to have to do if you call me is the first session is going to be to tell you to look at yourself in the mirror daily and say 4 things to yourself in the mirror, which I already told you what they are, okay? So, call me, 458-232-5238. It's not weak to ask for help, folks. We've been trained that we have to be strong and we can't show our emotions. But so you're going to have to get very honest and just get beyond all that and give me a call, okay? I can help you. I really can. So I'm going through this lesson, this book, one lesson at a time. Here's that next lesson. Lesson 68. What is wrong with putting others first? The popular name for behaviors involved in putting others ahead of ourselves is called people-pleasing. I was married, my fourth marriage was one of these. Which I left her November 2nd, 2020, and that's what got me doing what I'm doing here. And for the last 2 years, I've been studying the science of the mind, how the brain works. And that's why I'm here now, teaching you. Because this woman threatened to kill a third cat, okay? That's how I got away from her. And he's alive and kicking today. His name's Bullseye. This term accurately describes what we are doing when we elevate the needs of others above our own needs. If indeed we do need others, what is wrong with sacrificing ourselves to them? Question mark. Why can't we please others and try to make them happy? Question mark. The answer to these questions is again a matter of degree. Sometimes we can choose to sacrifice what we want or need for someone else. Sometimes we can try to please others. The key word here is sometimes, but not all the time. Most people pleasers are involved in chronic activities of taking care of others. They have never learned to do the same activities for themselves. And they wait and hope for others to please them. This is the danger of putting others first consistently. Our Western model, and here's where that training comes from, right? And most religions have taught us, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Excuse me. The focus is always nearly on do unto others part, and rarely on the second half of this saying. How do we know what we would want them to do for us if we're not aware of our own needs and wants? Question mark. And if they did this to us, could we accept and be worthy of their gift? Question mark. Most people pleasers have focused all their energy on giving out and have no awareness of what they want or need for themselves. They are hoping that someone else will read their minds and know what is the right thing to do for them. People pleasers give to get back, and their presents always have strings attached. These unclean givers often presume that they know what the other person needs better than the other person knows. Thus, they give unwanted or unnecessary gifts. The results of all this people-pleasing are resentments, hurts, and misunderstandings. These are not at all the intention of doing unto others. This is just one of the things that destroyed my fourth marriage. Okay, this woman was like chronically, mentally had that people-pleasing thing going on. To all her family, to her friends, to her children, to her brothers. I mean, it was like, whoa. I had no idea what was going on. People-pleasing is a modern term for martyring. Most of us are not cut out for sainthood. And a martyr can be very difficult to live with. Paradoxically, the true saints gave because they wanted to give. They gave ultimately for themselves. They were practicing self-esteem at a higher dimension. They fulfilled their own desires and moved out of worldly concerns. Most saints were not aware nor concerned with their saintliness. They were following a higher calling. People-pleasing, putting others first, is the opposite of saintliness. People-pleasers are all too aware of what they're doing, and they're doing it in a self-centered manner. They're giving in order to get their own needs met by others, by putting others first. They are hoping to get love, respect, adoration, security, or acceptance, etc. back from those they are giving to. None of these things can be bartered or bought. By putting others first, people pleasers are relinquishing their own rights and responsibilities along with the gifts they give. Putting others first is a present you give to them. And as with all presents, it is only meaningful if you, the giver, want to give the gift with no ulterior motives. This is the only good reason to give a present. It is of no consequence what the receiver does with the gift. The reason for giving is to bring joy to you, the giver. And that is enough. Taking care of others is a very large gift to give. Only do it when you are sure that there are no strings attached. Again, the exception is small children. Take care of them even when you do not want to. They are not responsible for being in your care. They have no other options and cannot take care of themselves. Another exception would be others who are dependent on you due to illness or handicapping conditions. Although there may be other options available for their care, animals are also vulnerable to people that own them. The only way that you can give gifts without strings is first take care of your own needs. This is all the stuff I've learned, and I can teach you too. In order to do this, you must put yourself first. You must recognize what you need and want, and you must do the work to meet your own needs. You cannot take care of yourself and also people please at the same time. Besides, once you start taking care of yourself, you will find your need to please others will disappear. When you like yourself, you will want others to like you for what you are and not for what you will do for them. By satisfying your own needs, your ulterior motives for giving will no longer be important. Perhaps all of this will be more clear if we turn the saying around. Do unto yourself as you would have others do unto you. This is the essence of learning self-esteem, and the 4 things to yourself in the mirror will give you self-esteem on steroids, then you won't be a people pleaser anymore. Once you do this, the paradox occurs, and it is easier to do unto others as you would have them do unto you. This is the essence of social interest. You can only practice social interest after you have learned to practice self-esteem, which is the 4 things to yourself in the mirror, folks. This is what the Western world has failed to teach us. They haven't taught us how to love ourselves, folks. This concept is at the heart of all religions. Know that you have worth, that you are good, and that you deserve to be loved. Learn forgiveness, acceptance, and letting go. You will benefit, and the others around you will also benefit. Only put others first, temporarily. In the long term, put yourself first. You are worth your own attention. You can please yourself. Woo! That is a very powerful lesson for you, folks. Like I said, I can be your therapist. 458-232-5238. 458-232-5238. Call me anytime to schedule your first therapy session. Self-taught psychiatrist, counselor, and therapist. Moi. I know what I'm talking about. I can help you. And like I said before, I specialize in emotional, physical, and sexual abuse because I am a victim. It happened to me. And so I know what I'm talking about. I can help you also. Have a great day out there on Wednesday, the 27th of July. you.